So I have a super interesting book from 2003, and you can probably tell it's from 2003. It is a visual thesaurus, and it doesn't exist so much anymore, and I don't think they put out any new editions because now we have Google. Not that we didn't have Google in 2003, but we didn't have Google then as what we have today. So today, for a visual search, for inspiration, for research, for whatever, we use the internet. Back in 2003, we didn't really use it as much. I mean, we still did, like a lot, but not as much. We relied a bit more on books and magazines. I mean, you could tell by, if you went to the bookstore in 2003, there was a section, a whole section on graphic design books. And we don't really have that anymore, which is very sad because that was like my favorite thing to do. So anyway, I will show you this book, A Visual Thesaurus, because it's pretty cool. So I think primarily the use of this book would be for like creating visual identities and logo designs, because it is a quick flip brainstorming tool for graphic designers by them. What else does it say? Yeah, that's all the it gives me on the side. But as you can tell, it is, well, it's a visual thesaurus. That's what it is. But it's actually, it's kind of interesting because you figure out some kind of words that are going to accompany a brand design that you're creating. So you've done your research and you're like, okay, this brand is cold or this brand is comfortable. And then you go in, you get some visual reference points. You're like, oh yeah, hugs are comfortable. Home is comfortable. So it's actually, it's a book that definitely has its uses. And it's actually nice having it in paper form rather than always having to go on the internet just for, if you're out at a park and you're doing research or if you're out at a park doing sketches and stuff and you're like, well, what's flexible? Like, occasionally we just sit with pen and paper or pencil and paper and we want to do stuff. And paper, having in a book is nice, having things that aren't always online. Of course, I say this born in the 80s when we didn't really have that much of a choice. Not that I was doing a lot of logo designs in the 80s as a baby. But this is a very cool book. And I think it still exists online, but as far as I can see, it seems to be you can get it maybe used from some obscure book source. But yeah, it's weird they haven't put out like a newer version of this book because it is pretty cool. But they just, there's probably just not much of a point because of the Google. But it's a cool book. So yeah. All right. Cool. Thanks.